Next item on the agenda is the firefighter incentive pay. I know that the fire chief and assistant fire chief have talked to council and myself. One thing that I've asked the chief to do is come up with a list of, it looks like this, I put it with y'all's stuff. The initial thing was just for the fires themselves, incidents. What I've asked him to do is come up with a separate list, not only with the incidences, but a separate list of the training and events as a separate thing. The reason coming back from discussions that they talked with y'all, I felt like some of the concerns that council brought up needed to be addressed. We've got some members that are go to a lot of incidences and fires, and then but they don't come to as many training exercises. Then we've also got some members that come to a large amount of training exercises, but aren't able to come to some of the incidences. So I asked him to divide this up. So what you've got is a list of all the firefighters that were enrolled during this calendar year, starting December the 1st and ending November the 30th of this year. You've got how many incidences that each member went to. And then you have also how many training events or events that they were and how many they went to. So the total number of incidences for the year is 97. Of those 97 events, there were 568 individuals that showed up. That's how many they went. So out of the 97 events, the first guy, Mr. Bell, he went to 15 of those. So that's a way to figure out a way to divide. If you were to split the 10,000 in half, you would divide 5,000 by 568. That would give you your price per incident, and you'd multiply that by however many incidences that each individual went to. Same thing with the training and events the same way. There was 56 training exercises. With the total number of people that went, it would be 519 individuals showed up to all those events. So you would take that 519 and divide it by 10,000. And that would give you your cost or payout for each training exercise. Am I explaining this correctly, Max?
More or less.
Okay.
We want to include everybody at the station. That was a member on December 1st, and still a member on the 30th of November. And this encompasses not all, but measurable events, and trying to make it as all-encompassing as we possibly can. I know that I missed last meeting. I was under the weather, so I missed the city council and fire meeting that night. So I know that wasn't able to address your questions. This is.
I also had Max print out a breakdown of each individual, how many incidences they went to, how many training exercises and events they went to for each month. As a percentage-wise, it's a really, really good breakdown of how much these people are doing. And make a note that the council did authorize and approve unanimously the budget for 2014, which did include an incentive line item, and they also did the same thing for 2015. I'd like any suggestions from council. The best way to disperse this $10,000 line item.
Well, when we did that back when Loretta was pro tem, we put $10,000 in the budget tentatively for incentive pay for the firefighters. Max was supposed to come up with a plan on it for us to review and to approve the plan, what he had last year sometime. We knew it was in there, and it's just like everything else in your budget. It's just because it's in there doesn't mean you have to spend every dime of it. We got here till December the 1st, and that was the first time we saw this incentive pay scale. It was broken down through there, but I talked to each council member, and I think some of them talked to Max and talked to some other firefighters here. And I think what we have decided from the conversation is to fund the firefighter incentive pay this year $4,080 to be divided pro rata on what he's got, as he did with the $10,000 through that, so.
Now, that was according to just the incident, or, now, I just had him do this, I believe.
Now,
over
he's
the
got,
weekend.
in this year's budget, he's got $2,500 on incident pay, I think, is that correct?
Structure
Plus-
fire.
For structures.
For structure fire. And he's got another $10,000 in for, incentive pay, next year, so.
Now, I know what you're going by, but this, I just had him draw up this, just this weekend. I think what y'all were privy to was just the incident points, where it would be like, those are actually calls, like fire calls, alarms. I actually had him to come up with a completely separate list of training, like meetings, training, hose testing, different functions around town as a completely separate division. So, like, if you were to say the 48, which, would that be just for the calls, or, and I would like to see the other 48 or whatever go for the training. But you're
The
wanting,
total firefighter incentive pay this year is gonna be $4,080.
okay,
From what the breakdown that the, originally gave us through there.
yeah. But now, I think that's what I was hoping for, was a way to better, resolve some of the council's concerns about the different, how the payout is being spent. So, with the new knowledge of the separation of the training as a completely separate entity, is there any room to improve, to add on the 4,800?
Not this year.
Okay.
Now let me say something. I'm for the whole 10 for the firefighters. I've told Terrell that, and I've told Ed that. These guys volunteer. They get out at 3 o'clock in the morning if your house is on fire. And we kind of promised this to them the beginning of the year. If Max dropped the ball on it by not getting to us quicker, that could be the case. But I still don't want to punish these guys for not being, they ain't getting much money when you look at what they get for what they do.
It's about $9 per.
So it's just, I just want it clear to the firefighters, I'm for the 10. Now, if they vote for 5, I'm gonna vote for 5, because I'm gonna vote to give you whatever they're gonna give you. I'm not gonna vote against it for you to get something, but I wished you were getting the full 10.
Would you like it made a motion?
For the 10, I make a motion.
I've already got a motion for $4,080.
Oh, you did make that?
You did.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Did we get a second?
Yeah, second.
Well, that's part of the discussion then. I'm sorry, Mr. Fulford, I didn't know you made it a motion, I apologize. Well, if there is no more discussion, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passed unanimously.